they're getting ready for tomorrow's Supreme Court case for the arguments in King v. Burwell. This is the case where the right-wingers are claiming that because there is one sentence in the law, I mean, repeatedly throughout the Affordable Care Act, through the Obamacare legislation, repeatedly throughout the legislation, it states that the purpose of the legislation is to provide affordable health care to everybody in the United States. I mean, over and over and over again. In fact, that's in the preamble, it's part of essentially the title of the act. It's everywhere. And the Supreme Court, on many occasions, I mean, going back a century, has always said when you consider a challenge to a law, or a challenge of a law, or a challenge based on a law, you have to consider the challenge or the piece of the law that is being challenged in the context of the larger issue, in the context of the larger law. And in this law, there was, this sentence that says that where they were talking about providing subsidies to people. They said, people who buy their health insurance through exchanges set up by the state are eligible for subsidies. Well, what they meant was that, the assumption was the states were all going to set up exchanges, and basically it was their way of saying you qualify for a subsidy if you buy it through an exchange. You don't qualify for a subsidy if you're David Koch and you just go out and buy it yourself, right? If your employer provides it to you, or if you're independently wealthy or whatever. But one of these conservative right-wing whack jobs has come up with this idea that, hey, we can take down the entire law by pointing out that there's one sentence that was awkwardly constructed in it. And what's bizarre, genuinely bizarre, is that this Supreme Court said, well, we'll think about that. I mean, it's just bizarre.